Saturday morning radio interview.
Brian Cowan was now in dangerous territory. His ministers were embarrassed defending the indefensible. Like Bertie Ahern before him, Cowan was becoming a liability.
I would like to make it very clear that there was no intention on my part whatever of any disrespect to the country or to the people of Ireland.
Has this not damaged your standing as Taoiseach with your peers?
Well, I hope not.
I don't believe he should have resigned then, because to him it would have been saying, I was wrong, I was drunk, I was hungover, I was whatever, so therefore I shouldn't be Taoiseach of this country, when he was none of the above. Later on, there were other much bigger, more fundamental issues for the country that, I suppose, caused people to question us as a government and him as a leader, but that wasn't the day for him to resign.
From first light, Brian Lenihan was busy getting the message out about Ireland's banks before markets opened this morning.
2 years to the day after the guarantee, Brian Lenihan finally put a number on the cost of saving the banks. 50 billion euros could be required to cover the losses and recapitalise the banking sector.
The total cost in terms of increased borrowing by the state is about 34.7 billion.
This is going to be remembered as Brian Lenihan's Black Thursday entry.
We've actually gone in there, opened the latch, looked at the loan books and made an independent valuation of them.
He made terrible mistakes, certainly. Black Thursday, when the real figures about Anglo-Irish banks, recapitalisation came out, he'd just got them all wrong, all along.
I was sent to Brussels the day the bank losses were announced and the day one of the bank bailouts was announced. And with people there from the department and from the central bank, and they briefed me as we were flying over on the extent of it. And I could just remember my mouth hit the ground so hard when they gave me the figures. I could have crashed the plane.
A €50 billion bill has been presented to the citizens of the state, and we're going to be paying for it for years to come.
The consequences were arriving quickly now. Greece had required an IMF bailout 4 months earlier, and the markets were asking, who's next? They looked at the cost of Ireland's bank rescue and made their call.
Concerns about Irish public finances pushed the country's cost of borrowing to a new record high of 8% today.
Faith just drained away, and you could see this ratchet effect in those now infamous bond yields. We saw also, and most notably perhaps, the draining of deposits out of the Irish banking system. There was effectively a slow-motion run on Ireland.
As the interest rates surged, the government abruptly stopped borrowing, claiming sufficient cash reserves. In reality, Ireland had been priced out of the bond market.
The question remains, will the government need financial help from the EU or IMF?
We made no application whatever for funding. We have funding up to mid-year.
Both Brian Cowan and Brian Lenihan were talking about the fact that we didn't need to go back to the bond markets. The NTMA said that we were fine until June 2011.
The Irish state is fully funded into the middle of next year.
I suspect that somehow they hoped that they would be able to muddle through and that we were really on a wing and a prayer.